Which players in Survivor history need a second chance? I believe this question will conjure up a ton of responses, and I really want to know what you think down in the comments. But for this video, I am picking 20 players from my own wish list. No memes, I'm being dead serious. 10 old school players, meaning people from before season 20, and 10 new school players, all players from post season 34. I will be talking about each of my picks in reverse chronological order. And with that, Caleb from season 45 was charismatic beyond all belief, and I think every single one of us saw his potential get squandered under the weight of carrying the Lulu tribe. However, his super charming personality was quickly sussed out by others, and that's why he was targeted at the first 2 tribals in the post-merge game, and while he survived one of them by a literal shot in the dark, the damage had been done and he couldn't quite pull off a second miracle. I think Caleb returning would see a charismatic player who would hopefully learn how to lower his threat level and have an amazing shot at winning it all. Carolyn of season 44 was all character, but shockingly not a bad Survivor player either. I mean, she would be very dramatic and seemingly emotional, but then make a very rational, logical decision. If she ever returns, then you can bet the overdramatic antics will be back, as that just seems like her regular everyday personality, and I don't think she'll be a threat to win, but I could be wrong. Frankly, these returnee seasons need characters badly, otherwise they just fall into game bot territory. Carolyn is so far removed from being a game bot. Jesse from season 43 is a game bot though, but let's be honest, if there was a top 10 list of like the biggest moves in the budget era of Survivor, Jesse is likely on that list 2, 3, 4 times. He is not a big personality by any means, but he is undoubtedly someone who will swing for the fences with a big move, and who can deny that opportunity for great TV? By the way, do you want to pick what videos I make? Well, over on Patreon, which is now free to join, you can pick what I make and watch it up to 6 months early. Consider signing up today, link in the description. Now with that, Shan from season 41 may be a divisive pick, but every good cast needs a villain. And unless something drastic has changed in Shan as a person since her first time playing, I think she'll still be a villain. I could be wrong, the show wants us to be sympathetic towards her, but Shan was a villain. In fact, I think she's the biggest villain of the budget era so far. She seemingly has no shame and is an aggressive player. Could she win? Could she make for compelling TV again? Yes. Karishma of season 39 is an odd choice considering the plethora of options given in the post-Game Changers pre-budget era seasons, but hear me out on this one. Karishma might be a better fit for the new era than the season she was on. Yeah, she might have been ahead of her time by like 2 seasons. She played from the bottom a lot and received a record 22 votes, but I think a second time would see a Karishma with a shot at winning, and maybe, just maybe, have another iconic line like this one.
We brought Applebee's to Fiji.
I love Applebee's. Applebee's is by far my favorite sit-down restaurant.
Oh my God, yes.
This is the biggest reward and we are gonna get this.
Devins of season 38 is a slam dunk. I mean, anytime I ask the question, who do you all want to see back? Devins is like one of 2 names, and it's so obvious why. He played his heart out on season 38 after returning back into the game as he got immunity win after immunity win after immunity win after immunity win, while also finding idols, playing them, taunting others, and just doing game moves for funsies. Charisma, fun, and big moves all make for a perfect combination to have someone play again. Please have Devins back. Christian of season 37 is the other slam dunk player to bring back. Like Devins, he's charismatic, funny, and will talk Jeff's ear off for like 6 hours straight. Oh, and did I mention he could slap together a slide puzzle in record time? If Devins and Christian are never asked back to play, it would be a war crime, as these 2 are TV gold and the show needs to take advantage. The people want them, I want them, let's bring them back. Angelina of season 37 climbed a 100-foot ladder to get an idol, asked Natalie for her jacket way too many times, and was generally messy at every point in the game. My worry with her, like one other player who will be deeper on this list, is that she may become too self-aware. She may have caught on to the fact that she was so funny the first time around that she wouldn't be funny the second time around. You know, it's like when you try to make a sequel to a comedy movie and it just doesn't work as well. But hey, I am willing to risk that to see her on my screen again. Dominic of season 36 lost by 1 vote after a tie. We have never had anyone come so close to winning Survivor before or since. an anti-hero and a villain at the same time in my opinion. My worry with Dom is that he will likely be an easy target in the early game or even in a merge situation since he is the highest placing player here, and frankly some may think of him as a winner given how close he was to having the win. But Dom is one half of a duo that while they did simultaneously ruin a season, they also were the only reasons to make it watchable. If anyone needs a second chance, I mean needs a second chance, it has to be Dom. Chrissy of season 35 is another player who many viewed as robbed, but unlike Dom, it was because of the Final Four twist. I don't buy that, I actually think she loses whether that twist happens or not, but I cannot argue that her aggressive gameplay and cutthroat attitude would make for a fun return, as anytime people online talk about her still, people view her as like the rightful winner of her season. Okay, well then let's give her a shot and see. Alright, let's jump back into the old school. Taj from season 18 has us jumping way back. While my first 10 players on this list, in my opinion, are realistic, I think these last 10 are highly unlikely, but would be a welcome surprise if they did get cast. Taj from Tocantins is definitely one of those, as she was a crucial piece in the Jiao 3 alliance and had a legit chance to win come a Final 3 if she faces anyone but JT. But in all reality, we remember her for her strong emotions at the auction. Taj was just fun. Kenny from season 17 was a mastermind amidst a cast full of drama, the king of Smash. Yeah, but here's another fun fact about Gabon I just found out. That Jackie from this season made a producer fall in love with her, so he got fired and they got married. Gabon gets better and better the more I learn about it. Google that story, by the way. It's crazier than what I just told you there. Anyways, Kenny was a strategic mastermind, and I believe he had a lot of great ideas, some that work and some that didn't, but given he is now older and more mature, I think his ego may not be there nearly as much, like it may be lessened, and therefore he could probably execute his ideas better because I think his ego really got in the way his first go around. Plus his threat level would be super low. It is a travesty Natalie Bolton from season 16 never returned. She was an alternate for Heroes vs Villains, but how does she never get cast again despite that? I have no idea. How is she not on Fans vs Favorites too? Natalie may have been a nobody for the first half of her season, but once she emerged in the post-merge game, she became amazing. Her confessionals are iconic, and she did almost all of the dirty work for the infamous Black Widow Brigade. The Beatles had Ringo Starr, and the Black Widow Brigade had Natalie Bolton. I hope that makes sense. Bring back Natalie. Dreams of season 14 seems to only be remembered for not giving Yao Man the car, but to me, he was so much more than that. He was an insanely messy player who constantly was playing the game amidst a cast of people who love to just sit on their hands. And let me tell you that anyone who's not sitting their hands, I love that more than people who do. He did have a moral dilemma a few times, those made for some of the best TV on an overall dull season. And I think at Older Dreams would still be a bit messy and would make for a good show. Courtney of season 12 was crazy. I needed a woman here and I picked her, but don't get me wrong, if you cast Courtney, you have to cast Shane too. This is kind of a 2-for-1, I'm cheating a little bit, but Courtney's my pick, but just know it comes with Shane. They're both crazy, and in any way, you can't really bring one back without the other, right? You have to bring them both. I don't care how much older they are, you can just tell their personalities are a perfect match. Neither were good at this game, but they were consistently bringing the drama, and in all honesty, you just can't have one without the other. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Rafe of season 11 may seem like an out of left field choice, but boy oh boy did he run his season. Had Danny Boatwright not won the final immunity, I really think Rafe wins Guatemala. Now, since Guatemala, he has become famous as the showrunner of the Wheel of Time TV show. So he may not agree to do Survivor, but we're not here to do realistic. We're talking about my wish list. And we all know Survivor would love the storyline of a player who turned into a big time hotshot after the show, and then they have a confessional where like, oh, Survivor's the reason I found success in my life. You know the show would love that. And for me, I think Rafe is an old school game bot, which is kind of on the rare side, who would likely try to make big moves without caring as much as to whether he wins, because hey, he's already got money. Rory of season 9 was spectacular TV, and my worry with bringing him back is kind of like Angelina. I don't think he'd be as funny the second time around, but really, I have no idea. His grumpy attitude in season 9 was TV gold, and anytime he opened his mouth, I would listen with both ears. I was ready. He's like an older school version of Randy from Gabon. Just put him on a losing tribe and you likely get the grumpy, funny Rory to appear again. Christy of season 6 was not only the first deaf person to play on Survivor, she also made it the furthest. I would hope a new era season would be more accommodating to her, but I don't want her back just because she is a successful deaf person. No, I want her back because I think her personality was interesting and she was a main story on that season. An older Christy who is more sure of herself and has actually watched Survivor would be a shoo-in to win if she reaches the end. The first time around, I'm unsure if she had even seen the show, but now I think she would be good. Sean of season 4 has only aged gracefully. He was very outspoken on the show about his beliefs and views in a way that I think the new era would actually embrace with open arms. AKA, I think he was way ahead of his time for this show, and it is why he was ignored on a returnee season for so long. In fact, he's never come back, and I don't get it. But if we did see some sort of second chances too, or an old school versus new school era, he should be strongly considered. My last pick is T-Bird of season 3, who was snubbed once before on the first second chances vote, but wouldn't that be glorious to have her actually get her second chance? Which I guess could tie into Shane earlier, but again, Shane was not an official pick, just kind of like you got to put them together. But I think given T-Bird's consistent appearances on Rob as a podcast and her genuine enthusiasm and energy, I think she's a perfect fit for the new era. She's the kind of character and story they would want to tell now. I don't think so much in season 3. I think she's a bit more reserved in season 3 as well. But I think now T-Bird would just go for it. I don't think there'd be any reservations. I think she might have the best shot out of any old school player on this list to win. I see the potential. So I ask you, who else should be considered for a new era returnee season? Comment below and let me know. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you all next time.